Hello everyone and welcome back to Winter 89 Colors. My name is Melissa and I'll be helping you out today with your favorite video of the month. So welcome to the completed pages and stats and anything else that I have to say before this month ends. Alrighty, so let's just dive straight in here. So I am filming this a few days before the end of the month, but A, I like to get it out before the beginning of next month, and B, this coming month is Space-Timber, and I am so excited to get started that I think I've done enough summer pictures for the year, so let's move on. All right, so let's start with our stats. So this month, I have completed a total of 35 pages, and that has to be a record. It has to. I say this every month, but I'm quite certain that we are, we are definitely topping some records here. I colored in 24 books, so that means that we did almost 10 pages duplicated in different books, which is fine. This is great. This means I'm getting through some things, and that's, if I'm feeling a book, I'm feeling a book. Let's just keep rolling with it, right? I did 3 official buddy colors. That's with Emily at eArt Studios, Mizzy Kiara, and my friend Tanya H. I completed what I would consider to be 2 long-term whips. I'm running out of whips, actually. I don't have a whole ton of them left. I should go through and check them out. Maybe I'll do a video on that if you are interested. Let me know. I added 3 books to my collection this month. They were all generous gifts from dear friends of mine. I'll point those out in a moment. I didn't pull any books from my collection this month. I just left them as they were. I only have 15 untouched books left in my entire collection. My entire collection, by the way, is 105 right now. But that means that only 14.3% of my books are untouched, which is a phenomenally good number, and I am really happy with that, and I'm not pushing to do better than that at this point. That's well below my goal, which was 25%. So last month was 17.8%, so I'm still just rolling along with it. I'm doing great. I'm feeling good about it, guys. I released 13 videos, which is also a record, I'm quite sure. This was a really coloring productive month for me this time round. Socials, we did fantastic again. Instagram, we now have over 1,000 followers, which is, woo, super fantastic. That's 250 more than last month when I did this video. And on YouTube, we gained almost 100 subscribers, 98 subscribers, bringing us up to 749, almost 750. That is amazing, you guys. I cannot even begin to tell you how excited I am and how grateful I am and how much I love each and every one of you. I don't know if you've noticed, but I respond to every single comment you guys leave, so leave me comments. I love hearing from you. Message me on Instagram. I love talking to you. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. I want to make as many friends on here as we can. So thank you all to everybody who watches, messages me, comments, interacts with any of my posts or videos. So I did work on a diamond art this month, but I did not finish one. So we're still going with 0. It's almost done though. The next one should be hopefully done this month. And I did so many color by numbers, you guys, like so many of them that I lost track. So soon I'm going to be doing a completed color by number video. That'll be kind of a separate thing, and I'll let you know as far as I can tell how many I did in the last few months. Alrighty, so there is our stats. I've got a page here to make sure that I don't forget to give credit to everybody that I mentioned in my video today. So I'm just making sure that I write all of those things down. Okay, so my video mentions handy, but just off to the side here. So let's get down to business. I need to clean my desk. Look at this. It shows up, the dirt shows up a lot more on camera. Well, I wouldn't call it dirt. It's like remnants of charcoal and soft pastel and ink and pencil. And I need to just clean this desk is my point. All right. So the first book that we're going to start with is Metallic Mandalas. Now this was on sale at Chapters. It came with a little paint palette and things like that, but I just ripped the book off of it. It had the attached paint palette, you know, like how you'd have for kids and stuff. I pulled that off, and just so I just have the book here. The first little bit of it is just, it's actually how to use watercolors for beginners, which is cool. So I might hang on to this book just for that. But I also thought that I could use this book to start following some of Disney Meg's mandala challenges. So that's what I did this month. So this is a new book. Obviously, this is the first one I've done in this book, and I used it to do this mandala for Disney Meg's mandala challenge. Let me write her down before I forget. Where did I put my pen? All right, lost my pen. That's cool. All right. Oh, there's my pen right there. Okay. So, sorry, you guys. I've had so much coffee. It's early in the morning. Here we go. So the theme for this month was Winnie the Pooh. And there's Disney Meg's Mandala Challenge. And so I did it using a mixture of Staedtler dual-ended water-based markers for most of the more matte stuff. And then for the shiny stuff there, I used Ohuhu glitter markers. So this is a little darker than you'd traditionally think of Winnie the Pooh, I think, but I thought I didn't want to just make it red and yellow. I wanted to add in a little bit of contrast and some fun, so I added in some grays, some black, and some browns. I figured those kind of went with the honey pot he's usually carrying around. I mean, his outlines and drawings usually have pretty dark lines. He's usually got those black eyes and what have you, so I kind of just, you know, expanded on the traditional color palette a little bit, but I'm really happy with the way that turned out. I haven't done a mandala in so long, and it was kind of fun. Alrighty, so that's metallic mandalas. I don't know. Spark Pool, I guess, is the... Oh, Amy Vaskamp looks to be the author, I guess. Author? All right. Anyway, that's metallic mandalas. Next up is a book I've been trying to get more done in because I've had it for a very long time. It was one of the first adult coloring books I ever owned. And I'm really happy that I'm getting more done. I got 3 pages done in it this month. So the first one is I finally did this little welcome page. I did this one a long time ago, and I decided to do this one this month. So all the centers, let me zoom in for you. All the centers of the flowers are Sparkle Pop or Jelly Roll Stardust. The rest was done with colored pencils. I think she turned out rather well. I'm still getting used to color pencils. I haven't had them very long. Like, I've had them sitting at, like, when I was still working, they were sitting at work, so I didn't use them very much. So I'm getting used to them. Just gonna grab, sorry about the camera, guys, my little basket of used stickies. So the next page that I did was this, I'm calling it the houseboat. I did this on a whim one day. I just wanted to play around with distressed ink. I only have 1 or 2 distressed inks I bought a long time ago, and distressed inks and I never really got along very well. But I decided to give it another go. So I did the whole background with distressed inks. The clouds, obviously, I used a stencil. And then down here, I actually took the pad of ink and just rubbed it down here on the water, and it created this really uneven pattern underneath that actually looks really good as far as water goes. So I left it the way it was. So then I used Prismacolor pencils for all the pencil work on the house and the boat and on the water here. I used cheap metallic watercolors to do all these little bubbly things down here at the bottom. And then I used Ohuhu glitter markers for all the glitter that was on this boat. It's very shiny, lots of glitter. I'm really pretty happy with the way it turned out. I like the way that I did the color scheme. I kept it to a limited color palette, which made me very happy. So I'm really proud of this one. I thought it turned out fantastic. I wish I had filmed it, but I didn't think it was going to amount to anything. I thought it was going to be a throwaway page because I was just playing around with the inks, which I used to be terrible at. But it turns out, if I put my mind to it and take my time and don't put too much pressure on myself, it turns out okay. Alrighty, and so then the third one that I finished in this book is this lemon page. Technically, it was the first one I finished this month in this book. But anyways, so I used pan pastels for the background. And then I used, that looks like it was polychromos. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was polychromos for everything else. I used Jelly Roll White for outlining the flowers. I used Jelly Roll Glaze for the very center of the flowers, and then Jelly Roll Stardust for some accents on the flowers. And I think it turned out pretty well. I don't know what drew me to this page. I don't know why I decided to do it. Again, sometimes I'm flipping through this book now and I just get an idea on a whim. And I think it's going to be just terrible, just me messing around, and it ends up turning out really well. So I wish I video things more, but I feel like if I video something, I put so much pressure on myself that I don't want to do it anymore. So I'm trying to find ways to video things without putting too much pressure on myself. But yeah, so that is Worlds of Wonder by Joanna Basford, of course. The next page up is Broken Circles by Tabitha L. Barnett. And I did one page in here, and that was this Tiki Bar. So this was all based with Aber alcohol markers. And I then used Albrecht Dürer to base all the more detailed stuff, the Tiki Bar, the waves, everything else. And then all the shiny accents that you see, again, that's all just super cheap watercolor paint. So like, for example, the paints that I got with that mandala book, or like little paints that I picked up on sale here and there. I've just sort of thrown them in my collection for now until I can get better ones, but they kind of just add a nice little shimmer to things. So I'm pretty happy with that. It turned out it was a nice, simple, easy page. Again, low pressure, and I'm happy. Alrighty, that is Broken Circles. Next, we have Mystic Animals. This one I did video. It is a video up on the channel if you want to go check that out. We did this page together. So it's a reasonably simple page. I wanted to keep it, not too busy, not too complicated. I did the video for it, so I didn't want to put too much pressure on myself. This was all done with Prismacolor pencils. And then I've got Ohuhu glitter markers on the fish for these glittery parts and on the center of the flowers. And I used clear Jelly Roll Stardust to highlight all the stars behind. So if you want to see how this was done, you can go check that out on my channel. It's a 2-part mini-series. And that is in Mystic Animals by Stratton Peterson. The next one, the book fell apart, so I thought I'd just pull out the pages that we needed to see, and that is in Animorphia. Oops, got her backwards. There we go. So this is one of those long time whips that I have been working on, and I finally kind of finished it up. So it started as, once again, an experiment with things I wasn't used to. It was when I first got my first set of watercolor pencils, and they were Prismacolor 12 set, and I had no idea how to use them, so I just kind of started experimenting and playing around and throwing things on the page, and I left it. I left it for a really long time. I didn't think I'd ever come back to it or finish it. I didn't think there was anything worth saving on the page. But eventually I thought, you know what? it's still salvageable, so let's do it. So I finished it off. I used soft pastels for the background, like to do the corners and all this kind of stuff, and to like soften up all the mess that I'd made over here. I used the cheap watercolor paints to highlight the waves and stuff, and of course I used white Posca to outline all the waves and the surf and everything. And then I finished off all these little creatures with Prismacolor because I wanted to use something that was waxy so it would sit on top and create that nice color and wouldn't be too drowned out by the fact that I did a blue base with a bunch of watercolor pencils. And then I did all their eyes with Jelly Roll Glaze. So I'll bring this one up for you so you can see. So it turned out, for a disaster, it turned out actually quite well. All right, so that was in Animorphia by Kirby Rosanis. Next up, Morning Scribbles, Frogs and Friends coloring book. And I did this one for a hashtag, and it was for Frogs and Friends Coloring, August 2024 by Disney Meg. And this month she wanted us to color, and Amanda colors. Sorry, I almost forgot. Disney Meg and Amanda Colors host this color along, or this buddy color, and that's this month we decided to do this, guys. So the background is all soft pastel. The two creatures are based in Ohuhu alcohol marker, and then they're all I've got Jelly Roll Glaze on the wings to make them stand out more, the black. I've got Jelly Roll Metallic on the edges of the wings. Or no, Sparkle Pop on the edges of the wings to make them pop. And then all this glitter on the belly, the wings, this little guy's tail, etc. That's all different glitter nail polishes. Look at that shine. So this turned out really, really well. I'm happy with it. It was just simple and fun, easy to do. So thank you, Meg and Amanda, for hosting this color together. That was in Chris Braniak's Frogs and Friends, Morning Scribbles. Next, we have Sweet and Simple Whimsy Girls, Mermaids and More to Color by Hannah Lynn, and this is the pocket size edition. And I did this one. So I did her hair, just the basing of her hair, using both Prismacolor and Polychromos as a color along on the channel. You can go find that if you would like. But then I did the rest off camera. So all of the basing was done with Ohuhu alcohol marker. I then, to highlight the hair, I used Prismacolor and Polychromos, depending on which strand you're looking at, because I wanted to demonstrate both a hard and a soft pencil in the video. I then used Prismacolor and Polychromos pencils to finish off any of the shading. On the seahorse, I've got Sparkle Pop for the border and the little accents here. And then I outlined her hair and a few other things and the seahorse and everything in acrylic marker. Or acrylic pens, Ohuhu acrylic pens, actually. And then I put glossy accents on her eyes and lips. Yeah, so that one turned out all right. I don't think it's my best work ever, but it was just a fun little page, so I'm not too worried about it. So that's Hannah Lynn's Sweet and Simple. Whew, here's a big one. Next one is my project book, Welcome to the Village. So I am determined to finish this book by the end of the year. It is going to be my first ever finished coloring book. It's just a simple, cute little book, based on Animal Crossing, from what I understand. I think I played the game once years ago for like a day. I don't remember anything about it. But I only have 5. I only have 5 pictures left in this book to finish before the end of the year, which is great. It means I can totally get it done. So I did, looks like 3. So this is the most recent one that I did, and that's these 3 little hedgehogs, based and shaded in Ohuhu alcohol marker. The outside border here, the stippling, was done with A-Beer alcohol marker, and then just some Jelly Roll accents. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way that turned out. Just a cute, again, simple, fun page. My first time doing a stippling effect as the background, and I really liked it. Oh, I did 4 in here, never mind. Next one I did was this one. This was A-Beer alcohol markers and Jelly Roll accents. Fun little picture. Next, I did this one, more fishing summer. So the background is an iridescent yellow acrylic paint. The picture itself was done with Ohuhu alcohol marker and Sparkle Pop accents. And finally, I finished these 2, I think they're turtles. And I did a limited color palette with them, obviously. So they are done with A-Beer alcohol markers and Jelly Roll glaze and Sparkle Pop accents. Very good. So we've only got 5 left to go in here, and a few of them are seasonal, so I'll have no problem getting those done. So cheer me on. All right. Next up we have Kawaii Tarot coloring book by Lulu Mayo. And I believe all 3 of these were done for a hashtag. Yes, it was Lulu Mayo's Scavenger Hunt August 2024. Whew, that's a handful, isn't it? And that was run by Coloring Bumblebee. Make sure I write that down. All right, so thank you, Coloring Bumblebee, for hosting this hashtag. It was Scavenger Hunt, and I completed all of the items in the Scavenger Hunt. So this one was for the first one. This is the Emperor, and it was for the dog prompt. So it was done with entirely Albrecht Dürer, acrylic paint pen, and gel pen accents, and that's it. The Albrecht Dürer were used both wet and dry. Very cute. They love the cute little pups down here. Adorable. Next, I did this one, and this was for the prompt houseplant. Again, the same hashtag. And this was done with Artex, I believe. Yes, I believe this was Artex pencil. And then I've got a copper paint for the border. And the cat's spots here were the super cheap, no, this was also an acrylic paint, an iridescent acrylic paint. I have a few shorts of me coloring these leaves up somewhere, and I might post some more. I took quite a few shorts coloring them because I liked the way they were turning out. All right, and the final one was the Queen of Swords. Again, in this book, I count each card as a page. I don't have to finish both cards in order to consider it a completed page. And this one was for the prompts, butterfly and frog. So let me just double check here. This one was done at the very beginning of the month. Yeah, this one was done with Artex pencils as well. I've got Ohuhu acrylic glitter markers, except for the outside card border, which was done with Jelly Roll Gold Shadow. Very glittery. Oh, and Jelly Roll Glaze for the black on the butterfly. Pretty happy with that. The only thing I'm not happy with is the fact that there was a flaw in the pencil that I was using to blend here, and there was like a little touch of orange in it or something. You know how that happens? And I couldn't fix it. It was burnished right in there. So, but oh well, such is life. All right, so that is Kawaii Tarot by Lulu Mayo. Next up, we have Ivy and the Inky Butterfly, the book I'm trying to go front to back with. I also met another friend online this month by the name of Mandy. And we decided that once we catch up to each other, because she's further in this book than I am, and I'm further than her in Secret Garden, and once we catch up to each other in each of those books, we're going to color in them together. So I got these 2 pages done. Now, technically, I think this was supposed to be a double page spread, but I decided to do them as 2 separate pages. I did one in warm colors, warm fall colors, and one in cool spring colors. So they were both done with Color pencils. The background for this one was done with soft pastel, except for the deeper gold shade in the background here. That was done with Albrecht Dürer. The background of this one was all done with Albrecht Dürer. And then there's just little tiny bits of Jelly Roll accents for like the center of the flowers and things like that. Yeah, I like the way this turned out, the contrast of cool to warm. You can see I've got Jelly Roll glaze for the ink coming from the butterfly. Yeah, pretty happy with the way that turned out. This is the next one. I am doing a video series on this page, so you can check that out on my channel as well. So that's Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. Next up is Tiny Cats by Cocowayo, and this was a gift from my dear friend Kiara. And I did this one. Now the paper on this is really tough to work with. It's worse than regular Amazon paper. It's the black backed Amazon paper, but almost worse somehow. So I used my cheaper alcohol markers, my ABR alcohol markers, and they streaked really bad. Like you can see how streaky it is. But we got it done nonetheless, you know, so it was all done with the ABR markers except for a little bit of shading. I'd used some pencil in the flowers, and then I used oil pastel to make the clouds and the ripples and the shading in the water. So it's not my proudest page, but it is one of my cutest pages. So we'll just ignore how streaky it is. So that's Tiny Cats by Cocowayo. Next up is Shooting Star by Maria Trolle. As you can see, I made a book cover for it using what do you call those, sheet protectors. I just made a little tape spine for it to hold it together so it protects the front cover. So this was a gift from my friend Tanya, and we did a page in here together, and that was this page here. So my background is Albrecht Dürer activated, and I did do a color along on the channel of that. So if you want to check that out, you can. The rest was all done with polychromos. The only accent I have is Jelly Roll glaze on the eyes, and the star is Sparkle Pop. I wasn't sure what these were. They clearly weren't oranges. They also didn't really look like lemons, so I thought they looked kind of like avocados, so I made them avocados. I don't know. But yeah, so that was my first picture in Shooting Star by Maria Trolli. I'm very excited to get more done this season for Space Timber in there. Hello, quick note here, editing Melissa here. I just wanted to say I got so wrapped up in how beautiful this book is that I forgot to mention how wonderful Tanya's page turned out. I absolutely love the rainbow background she did. It's so beautifully transitioned. You know, the warmth of those oranges just blew me away. The entire page was just absolutely awesome. So thank you once again, Tanya, for buddying with me, and I hope we can do another one soon. And also thank you for gifting me this beautiful, beautiful book. I couldn't be happier with it, and it was such a beautiful, wonderful surprise. Thank you so much. We're about halfway there, guys. So the next one is Mini Mania the First, and I believe that this was also, if I'm not mistaken, yes, this was also yes, this was also coloring Bumblebee and her complete Mini Mania tag. So I've got coloring Bumblebee on there. Okay, so we did this juice box, and I did this using Artex pencils. The background is soft pastel, but then the rest is all Artex pencils, and then I have actually an Arteza gel pen. I have 2 Arteza gel pens, and silver is one of them, and I used that for the accents, and then I used metallic Jelly Roll for the other accents. But it's just a cute, simple page. The paper, of course, is terribly thin, and the Artex pencils made it warp quite a lot. The paper is not holding up well, but that's okay. It still turned out quite well. So that was for the tag, Complete Mini Mania, hosted by Coloring Bumblebee. And that was in Mini Mania 1. Next up, one of my new favorite books, and this was a gift from my friend Wendy. And this is the Stress Relief Bold and Easy coloring book, and I did several in here as well. So the first one that I did was this Band-Aid flower, and this was done with A-Beer alcohol markers. Just simple, easy coloring. I also did this corner pocket room. This was done with Ohuhu alcohol markers, Jelly Roll accents. I had to draw in the little flowers in the picture there. I realized after I should have done like a texture or something on the couches and chairs, but I just decided not to. It was fine. Just really simple. And then I did this teacup. So it was based with Ohuhu alcohol markers and then acrylic paint for the background. I drew in this little semicircle with a compass. And then I've got some Ohuhu alcohol or Ohuhu acrylic marker paint pen for some of the shinier accents on the teacup and tea bag. All right, so that is Stress Relief, Bold and Easy Coloring Book by Coco Wyo. I love these little books. I want more of them. I only have one, but hopefully one day I can get some more. Next up is Mini Mania 4. I wanted to color in this one because I had never colored in it, so I decided to just pick a page and go for it. And so I did this page. This was once again done with Artex pencils, and we've got Jelly Roll Stardust accents. And that's it. Pretty simple. Again, the paper was not super happy with me, but it survived. Very cute, very summery. I was really into that page. I saw it and I was like, yes, we're doing that. All right, so that is Mini Mania 4. Alrighty, so up next we have 50 Vacation Miniatures by Camellia Angelkova. And I did this one, the mama kangaroo and her baby water skiing. So it was all done with Ohuhu alcohol marker. I even used a stencil to create this bubble background thing. And then I used Ohuhu glitter markers for the eyes and Jelly Roll glaze and my other Arteza pen for the streaks in the goggles. Again, just a really fun, summery page. I'm enjoying doing these sort of soft, abstract backgrounds. They're kind of fun. So hopefully I can keep up that momentum for next month in Space Timber, where we have so many options. All right, next up we have Sarin Dippity by R.J. Hampson. This was again a new book I haven't colored in before. And for some reason, I just felt like doing this tiger page called One Perfect Day. So the background is soft pastel. And the rest was done with Artex pencils. The stripes of the tiger were done with a Posca pen. And then I have some Jelly Roll and Sparkle Pop accents. The tiger didn't come out quite as shaded as I wanted it to. Again, I'm not super familiar with my Artex pencil, so sometimes I don't quite nail it, but that's okay. I like the way her hair turned out though. All right, and that is R.J. Hampson, Sarin Dippity. Oh, I hate the feeling of the cover of this book. It's awful. Ugh, I have to wipe my hands. Alrighty, next up we have Romantic Country, and this is a buddy color with my dear friend Emily. And we decided to do the vegetable garden together. So once again, as we always do, we ended up going total opposite directions with this. I went for either an early morning or late evening sort of thing, but it's still technically daytime. This was all done with Albrecht Dürer, just a few gel pen accents for the whites and the metals, but that's about it. It was all activated Albrecht Dürer. And I am quite happy with the way it turned out. I should have shaded the cabbages just a little more, I think. That's the only thing that I'm kind of regretting, is I should have put just a little more shading on them. They look a little bright compared to everything else, but cabbage is really like a bright whitish green, right? So I'm not too worried about it. And the sky turned out pretty nice. Of course, Emily's will be here. And she did a fabulous job. She went with nighttime. I love the way her sky turned out. It's just beautiful. So that is one more done in Erie's Romantic Country. Thank you, Emily, for doing that with me. It was a fantastic and fun buddy. Next up, we have Enchanted Faces by Hannah Lynn. And I did this one. It was again based in Ohuhu alcohol marker. The hair was shaded with Prismacolor. And then I've got Sparkle Pop and Jelly Roll accents all about. And yeah, Jelly Roll glaze, obviously, for the eyes and lips. The background was actually done with Staedtler dual-ended marker. I can see the streaking in it. Huh, interesting. Wonder why I chose to do that. Meh. Not that it matters, but yes. It's Enchanted Faces. Next up is my final finished buddy color, and that is with Mizzy Kiara. And we decided to do this big old double page spread. As you can see, I've got all my color combos here, and this was done with Albert Duer's Polychromos, distressed ink, and a multitude of metallic gel pens. I love the way the background turned out. That was obviously done with a stencil and distressed ink. And I've got all kinds of metal. This is a heavy book. I'm not going to pick it up and turn it for you. You can see what's going on. I've got Jelly Roll glaze on her, as you can see, eye, the bottles, her lips. Yeah, this turned out better than I expected. I was really worried going into it because it was so much metal, but I think it turned out. And because this is a double page, I am going to just leave this here, and I'm going to let Kiara's sit here for a bit. Go ahead and look at hers. I love the way that she did hers too. She went all kinds of like really creative. The skin color and everything is just wild. You know, she went with metals in a totally different direction than I did. I went with like the antique brasses and bronzes and things like that, and she went the other end of the map. Just wonderful. So happy that we did this. Thank you, Kiara, once again for being my buddy with that. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope that we can do another one soon because it's always inspiring. So that is Grains of Gold by Hannah Carlzon. I almost said Hannah Lynn there. Not the same author. Next up, I have Matchstick Mouse Summer. This was again a whim where I just felt like pulling out something simple. So I did the little witch mouse in a tree. This is all just Ohuhu alcohol markers, nothing else. I don't know why, but this summer coloring book always prompts me to just use really simple alcohol marker shading. The first one I ever did in here, the first good picture I ever did with my alcohol markers was in this, and it was her standing on top of a mountain. It was the first time I ever used my alcohol markers to shade. I know it was in this book. So while we were having a family meeting, I did it. I remember. There she is. First time I ever shaded using alcohol markers, and it turned out pretty good, I think. That was August 19th of 23. Fascinating. All right, so that is Matchstick Mouse, a summer coloring book. Next up, I have Country Farm Scenes by Teresa Goodridge. This was again an untouched book. And I decided to do, sorry, bumping you around again, these little cows. So this was based in Ohuhu alcohol marker. It was shaded with Color pencils. And then the lettering here I did with gold acrylic paint as well as the outside border. I'll show you the paint. It's just this stuff here, Folk Art Treasure Gold. It's pretty bright. It does take a couple of coats though. I usually do at least 2 coats with it. Yeah, just a simple page once again, but really fun way to break into that book. We're almost at the end, folks. So the next one is Secret Garden by Joanna Basford. And I finished a long time whip in this one. So I finished up this page here. So the background, the sky, was done with super, super cheap watercolors that I no longer have. I was just trying to use them up. They did not handle this, like this paper did not like them at all. They just sat on top. It was really weird. It was an experiment and it failed. And I thought that this was going to be, again, a throwaway page, but I am getting better correcting these pages and I'm enjoying the chances that I get to correct them. So that's fun. So then I drew in a few more bees. There was only this bee and this bee drawn in by Joanna. So I drew in the rest of them using, I believe it was a Stedler fine liner. Yeah, these guys. And Ohuhu acrylic marker. The clouds, I used a stencil and a white acrylic paint. All the flowers, the blue centers were done with, again, super cheap watercolor paint. All the pinks and purples were done with Color pencils. And then I've got Ohuhu glitter markers for all the glittery stuff. So this was quite a labor of love. It took a long time to get through. But it actually turned out surprisingly well. You can see I smudged Jelly Roll glaze there back in the early days. I still always smudge Jelly Roll glaze. I get too impatient and start coloring around the glaze before I get a chance to dry properly. All right, so that's Joanna Basford's Secret Garden. Next up, we have 50 Jungle Miniatures by Camellia Angelkova. And I did this cute little page. The tiger and the leopard, I believe it is, having a little seesaw battle here. So I used, I believe it was A-Beer markers for this. Yes, it was A-Beer markers. So I used a compass to draw in this semicircle in the background with the purple. And then I sprayed, I have alcohol in a bottle here, and I sprayed it so that it made a little bit blotchy, the background. So it just gives it a little texture. And then the rest was all shaded using the alcohol markers. I used a little bit of Color pencil just to shade their eyes a little bit, and then I used glossy accents on top. And then I've just got some Sakura Stardust clear for these little, I don't know, little sparks in between them. Friendship sparks, I'm going to call them. I don't know why I decided to do that, but I felt like something needed to go in there. So I'm pretty happy with the way that turned out. Another cute, simple one in 50 Jungle Miniatures. And finally, I did this one just the night before filming this. This is technically my book, but I gave it to my husband. He's learning how to color, so I gave a few of my books that I thought would be up his alley to him, so I don't consider this part of my collection, but I decided to pull it out the other night, and I saw this. I was just flipping through it just for fun, and I saw this picture, and I was like, I have to do this. I'm stealing this book for the night. And so I did this little Axel Lottle. This was done entirely in Ohuhu alcohol markers and gel pen. Even the background is Ohuhu alcohol marker. That was a labor of love. It was done with a marker that I was like, I don't think I've ever used this marker, this color. So I was like, I won't miss it if I use a bunch of it. The pentagram in the back is done with Ohuhu metallic acrylic pen. And then these bubbles I am so proud of. I did them using alcohol marker. I blended them to make that rainbow effect. And I thought that turned out just awesome. I'm so proud of this page. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. It's one of my favorites for the month. I think it might be my favorite for the month. All right, and that is Pastel Goth, and this has no author, has no publisher, has no information whatsoever in it anywhere. The only thing it says is manufactured by Amazon, and it has this ISBN. So I have no idea who put this together. If it's AI, no idea, but it's kind of cute nonetheless, so we'll forgive it. So that concludes all of my completed pages. The only thing I have left to say is that I did not complete one buddy. It was a group buddy with Amy Ward. May I write this down? There you go. And then we were supposed to work on, and I'll bring it out, a whip in here. So we all had this page as a whip. 3 of us. And there's no way I'm going to finish it in time. I've only got a few days left to the end of the month. And I am just really struggling to get any work done in it. So I don't think I'm going to finish it. I'm sorry, Amy and friend, whose name I forget. I will put it on the screen here. But I'm not going to finish this. I'm going to keep working on it. Don't worry. I'm going to keep pushing it. But unfortunately, there's just no way I'll finish it. But I'll keep plugging along. And that's in Worlds Within Worlds by Kirby Rosanis. All right, folks, that concludes the end of our video. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, check out my other videos. You can find my PayPal and my Amazon wishlist below if you are so inclined. I am so grateful to every one of you who has sent me a generous gift that is so unnecessary but so loved. Yeah, and of course, if you want to do any buddy colors, if there's anything that sparks your fancy, make sure to send me a message. There's still time before the beginning of Spacetember, or I'm also taking Halloween and autumn ones for October. Alrighty, enjoy the rest of your coloring day and have a good one. Bye now.